Okay folks, here's a simple bat building tutorial. My name's Lucretius and I have my wonderful son Camroth here, who can't see his face, thinks he's emo or something. No, just kidding. But we're going to do a simple but effective bat build today. I've never recorded anything and I'm not a TV personality, so this should be fun. As you can see, we have a golf shaft, knife, scissors. This is sticky back craft foam, super easy to use. Scissors, the good old cheap Frost King, duct tape, packaging tape, and double-sided carpet tape. Yay! So we will begin. First, cut your shaft to length. I already cut this to length. I don't know what it is. I've got all my shorts and stuff done, so I don't really care. Then you will cover the tip here with a layer or two of duct tape. This just helps any splintering that probably won't occur, but it'll eliminate it anyway. Okay, we got the duct tape on. It's a horrible tape job, that was my fault, but it's still there, it's effective. Next, we will take the sticky back craft foam and peel off the back, and you're going to start at the long ways, right at the tip here, and go down the shaft of the golf club. And this will fill in any hole. It'll reduce or eliminate rattling, which also prolongs the life of the bat. We're going to do two pieces back to back, and I will show you that here in a minute when it's done. Okay, there's the two pieces of the sticky back craft foam, nice and secure. It does make this next part a little tight and hard to get on. Yeah, here comes the "that's what she said" jokes, but that's okay. So the easiest way to do it is to slowly open the slit in the foam and loosen it up a little bit. I'll show you on a little piece here. You'll open it, and you got to be careful. If you open it too far, it will easily crack. Well, and this one's not cracking like normal. There it goes. So be careful not to do that, because then you've just ruined your piece of foam, which that was for demonstration purposes. That's not what we want. So Camroth will go ahead and do it proper like on the piece that we're going to use for the blade. Again, I apologize, my videoing skills are subpar at best. Just work that foam real good, get it loosened up. It'll make putting the blade on much easier. Since I have a grammar Nazi in the room, I will say much more easier. Make the hair on her neck stand up a little bit. Alright, now we will insert the shaft into the slit. And it's easiest to start at the tip of the shaft. And just slowly push it in, adjusting as needed. See how easily that was? Now if you look in here, some of this plastic, I don't know if I can show it on the video, has gotten caught in the craft foam. That's fine, just use your fingers, go along the edge to pull it all the way up so that it will wrap entirely around the shaft here. And then we're just opening it up, making sure it's all inside good, and then we check our depth. So here's an important part too. You want to leave some room inside here to fill with foam. my rule of thumb, and it's worked for me, is just to my first knuckle. If I can hold the camera right. First knuckle. Hey, and there's Max. He ended up in the camera too. Woohoo! But that's a little bit lower, so we will do that. We'll pull it down just a hair. Okay, now we've got the proper depth for that hole. It goes to my first knuckle. That's what I like. And then we will pull the plastic off. And stick it together. No need to get in a rush, just slowly stick it together. Alright, next we will go ahead and secure this thing to the shaft by shaving this end. There is two ways to do it. I'll show you one. A lot of people do it this way. I don't like that way. It doesn't work for me, but it works for others. Camera will demonstrate the way that we do it. It's quicker and I get a more even bevel. This will help me torque wrap the foam to the shaft. Now this is a pretty old way of securing foam to shafts, but I still prefer it because it's so much easier when the foam does break down to get off of the shaft and just replace the foam instead of dealing with cutting off a bunch of glue. Now the fun part begins. This is the torque wrapping part. Kodo's trying to find a place to, Kamroth's trying to find a place to put the knife so we don't stab ourselves. This part, I won't lie, it does take practice. It took Kamroth a good 10 swords or so, 10 bats.
After 100.
Before he could start to get the hang of it. But basically start your tape right here where it's not, I guess I can show the camera properly, where it's not shaved. And you don't start out tight, you just start out snug. Work your way down, and as you go down, you get tighter and tighter, and it'll squeeze that foam right around the shaft. And you keep going until your tape is all the way off of the foam. Teeth of steel, and then go ahead and hold this for a minute, the camera. You'll see already this thing is on here fairly securely. At one point we are going to do it again and it'll finish securing at 100%. So next we have this hole up here. We've got to fill it. And I cut a little wedge out of my foam right there, and we'll just stuff it in the hole nice and good like. And yeah, I cut it a little big, but that's what the scissors or knife are for. Trim it down. And it's okay to have a little bit hanging above it because it will squish down when we put the tip on. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to prepare the next part and be back in just a moment. So now I think my camera's upside down. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, we're making the tip. This is the double-sided sticky tape. I go ahead and make a cross. It gives it a little bit more surface area for the tip to stick to, as well as an extra layer of tape for the golf shaft to have to puncture if it were to fail. Peel it off, and I made the tips out of just blue camp foam because it's cheap, easy, readily available, and because blue camp foam fails a lot, I do 2 of them two pieces. They are stuck together by that double-sided carpet tape, exactly like that with the cross on it. I'll stick it right on, and now we use the packaging tape to secure the tip on even more. You'll end up with 6 crosses. In this part, I make the strips quite a bit longer than I need to, because it will come down the shaft or the blade, you know, a little ways there to help secure everything when we're all done. So we end up doing 6 strips to entirely cover the blue foam, and you know, crossing pattern. Cameron is wearing his awesome GNR shirt.
Yep.
Which reminds me, we're going to see Avatar in a couple weeks. And you can see it's making little points in the foam. The extra tape, there's just a tiny little bit of blue foam sticking out right there. But that last cross he's going to put on will smooth out those corners, as well as cover the foam entirely, and it'll help protect your covers. These parts I like to take my time on and get that tape as smooth as possible, mainly for cover wear, but it does help the foam too. So push down all the corners, and then we will take one piece, not too tight, and just wrap it around here to hold down those corners as well. And that's right here. I keep looking at the sword, not the camera. Right there, and I said that's mainly to prolong the life of the covers, but it's also a little additional support. Now, of course, a lot of this is built to last as long as possible as cheap bat can last. It's not built for ultralight, it's not built for anything else but functionality and durability and ease of replacement. Alright, now we will lay this bat down, and we will skin the entire thing starting from here, overlap the tape, go all the way up, and overlap the tape here. And I don't know if it's an OCD thing or if it actually helps, but I always start with this, the split in the foam, to make sure it stays closed. You squeeze it closed and then run your first piece of tape over it. This part I'm not going to show the entire thing. We'll show the first 2 and then I'll come back when it's done. If you run your finger down the middle of the tape first, the sides usually lay down nice and flat. You get a nice, good, flat skin. The dimensions and strike legal surface I will leave up to you to read the rule book and figure out, but if you have questions, feel free to ask. And see, this one we overlapped quite a bit. It came almost back over to the slit in the foam. And we'll just do that all the way around until it's completely covered. And that's when I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, so we've got the entire thing skinned with packaging tape. I forgot to mention, over lots of years of using packaging tape, there's 2 that I found that work. The long-lasting Scotch tape works even better because it is a little bit lighter. It stretches, it's got give, and it just lasts forever. The second best thing is the heavy duty Scotch tape. I don't like it as much because it is a little stiffer and heavier. It tends to be a tad bit more brittle in the colder months, but it's a good second. I couldn't find the long lasting, so this is what we're stuck with. Don't sacrifice on tape. It's like sacrificing on, quality stuff to make safe equipment. Next, we've ended our tape up here, in this area. So we're going to go ahead and wrap around the blade one or two times. Usually I try to get this into what I call the sweet spot. And it holds the tape down as well as give a little more protection on where you think you're going to hit with your bat the most. So just once or twice there is good. And now on to our second torque wrap. At this point, of course, it does two things. It secures the foam to the bat better, and it holds the tape that we use to skin down there from rolling up and messing up your covers. And the important thing here is you go the opposite direction as you went the first time. He's thinking about it. I might have to show him. But no, he's gotten really good at this. So you start above the beveling that you made, and then work your way down and just get tighter and tighter as you go down. And this will secure the foam, torque wrapping it in the other direction. Now that bat is done for the blade part. It needs a cover, obviously, and a pommel. I don't know any reeve that would let that go, but I do build my pommels a little bigger than most people, but that's just me. I've been smacked in the back or in the face with the back end of a sword once, and I made them extra padding. So I literally do the exact same thing I just did up here to the pommel, only obviously much smaller. The piece he has in his hand we're going to turn into a pommel. It's approximately 2 inches, 2.5 inches. And of course you can cut them to however you like. I didn't bother to cut the golf grip off of this and build up the handle for counterbalancing or anything. This is just a simple, quick, easy guide that was requested by some good friends that are too far away to come learn in person. And Tiana told me I get points if we post this on the Kingdom page, so I'm going to throw myself out there and post it on the Kingdom page. Woohoo! But same thing, I'll just videotape this and go to town. If you have any questions about the way I do things, feel free to message me on Facebook. I've never responded to anything on YouTube, so I don't know if I'll even see the notifications, but yeah. This will be on YouTube. Best thing to do, since you can't find this Frost King locally, is to get a bunch of people together. Find out if anybody's bringing any to any of the events. Because if you order, I can't remember, over $100, I think, on Lowe's.com, you get free shipping. So if you can get a big order together or find somebody that's bringing some to the events, let me know, and I can always bring some. So I order it in bulk. But I will pause the video now, and there's my sad, frumpy, fat doggy that doesn't like to go outside. He knows I'm talking about it. Come here, Roog. Come say hi. Come say hi, Roogers. Oh, hi, puppies. He likes to help sometimes. But I'll come back when that pommel is done, and then I'll show you a completely finished product. Alright, here's one torque wrap that we did. So that's the first one. Now we'll put the blue camp pad on top, secure it down, and then do the second torque wrap. So this will go right there. Sticky, sticky, boop. And I'll come back here in a minute. And just a reminder, that is 2 pieces of double-sided carpet tape. Gives just a bit more sticky surface area, and that's about it for the pommel. There's really nothing that's going to protrude through that. Okay, this one is skinned, taped, secured. Now onto the second torque wrap to go the other direction. The second one's always easiest. Whoops. Don't be discouraged the first couple times, or your first dozen times even, torque wrapping these things. Said it takes some time to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's super secure and super easy to replace the foam if needed. I'm not a heavy hitter in Amtgard by any means. And honestly, I haven't been fighting a lot lately, but Kamroth does. And he hits about as hard as I do. And his swords will last 4 to 6 months easy before we have to rebuild them.
What time of year?
So, like I said, it's definitely not meant for heavy hitters to last a long time. There's definitely better things out there for that. But these are quick, easy, and effective bats. Said I didn't even measure this one. I don't know if it hit short or just under or just over, but we are going to go build a sword cover for it now, just to add in that bit of piece, because the sword covers we make last quite a while too. They usually fall apart before the foam does, but still. This is the finished product. Basically, Kamroth built half of these and I built the other half, and my lovely wife made the sword covers while I was at work one day. They're super easy, anybody can make the sword covers, but I made these for basically my new garb that I'm designing. It's going to be kind of a shaman mage garb, and depending on which magic class I'm playing will determine the magical spat that is being used, partly for the Norse theme. Of course, this doesn't have any runes on it, but it goes good with shamans, just saying. Now on to the sword cover.